Formula 1 returns to Monza, the Temple of Speed, for the 13th round of the 2017 season, the Italian Grand Prix, with the race expected to be an even fight between Ferrari, Mercedes and Williams, with all three teams having different strengths and weaknesses around the 3-mile track. There was much questions hanging over Josh Cherry's future in Formula 1 about what team he'll be at next season. However, it's now come to light that Williams has stamped a staggering $300 million buyout clause on the defending world champion's contract, all but securing him at Williams for next season. Toyota were first out in FP1 testing some ultra low drag front and rear wings that they brought for this one-off meeting, to hope once again to take the fight to Red Bull in the race and in qualifying. Red Bull also brings some low drag front and rear wings of their own, as Cosworth still find that they're significantly down on straight line speed, despite the significant gains they thought they found over the summer break. Suttle also announced after FP3 that this would be his final season in Formula 1 and they'll be retiring after the 15th Grand Prix to make way for Thomas Laurent to race for Sauber for the rest of 2017. Fernando Alonso will start on pole position as he usually does in this 2017 season, with Sebastian Vettel completing the front row for Ferrari. For the second race in a row, Josh Cherry will start from third position and he's joined on the second row by Pascal Wehrlein in the second of the Mercedes. Once again, the third row will consist of Robert Kubica and Daniel Kvyat, with this time Kubica getting the better of the young Russian to line up in 5th for Williams, with Kvyat in 6th as the lead Red Bull. It will be Toyota 4th row lockout, with both Hamilton and Komario Kobayashi within 3/10 of the pole time of Fernando Alonso. Poor lap from Jean-Eric Vergne, the current championship leader, sees the Frenchman only line up in 9th, and he's joined on the 5th row by Max Verstappen in the second of the Red Bulls. Nico Hülkenberg will start just outside the top 10 from 11th, with Lance Stroll only managing 12th, despite the power advantage of the Haas BMW. Stroll's teammate Mick Schumacher only managed 13th best in qualifying, and he's joined on row 7 by Pierre Gasly in the Toro Rosso. Daniel Ricciardo will start from 15th and the second of the Renaults, and he's joined on row 8 by Rui Harianto as the lead of the McLaren Hondas. Carlos Sainz, with a very poor lap, will start from 17th, and he's joined on row 9 by Antonio Giovinazzi as the lead of the Saubers. Running off the back of the grid for the Italian Grand Prix, we have Carmen Jorda in 19th for McLaren and Adrian Sutil on the back of the grid for Sauber. Hey guys, Taro here. Welcome back to UniONE, this time round 13 for Season 4, the Italian Grand Prix. If you did miss the race last time out at Belgium, definitely do go and check that race out. Fortunately, this one could mass upgrades for a lot of the teams, and it's definitely a lot closer racing now than what we've seen for the first half of the season. By looking into this race, what can the two Toyotas do? Locking out the 4th row, and both within 3/10 of the pole time of Fernando Alonso, so it might even be a 4-way fight and not as a 3-way fight as expected. And also, what about Jean-Eric Vergne coming into Ferrari's home race as the championship leader? May not have the best qualifiers, but we've got a buffer about 45 points I think it is in the championship. Also, what about Giovinazzi? We haven't really seen much of him this season. Of course, the Sauber's just so far off the pace that they don't really get much airtime. But it's the first Italian to race at home since Liazzi in 2011. I imagine he's going to try and put on a good showing for the home crowd. Now coming on to us now, starting in P3 with a Ferrari of Vettel and Alonso on pole. Of course, if you remember back to Season 2 2015, when our first race for Williams was here at Monza, and we started from P3 in that race, with a Ferrari and a Mercedes in front of us on that race as well. So, can history repeat itself? Can we take our first victory of 2017, which will also be Williams' first victory of the 2017 season as well? That's waiting for the back few cars to line up on the back rows of the grid, the two McLarens, the two Saubers. We really haven't found any gains over the summer break, I really imagine, from what they were expecting. But now coming to the 5 red lights for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Can we get a good start for our P3 position? Looks like we get a good start there from Robert Kubica, going to make it 3 wide of ourselves and Pascal Wehrlein. So pretty even fight between Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso going down his turn 2 as well. Kubica actually gets ahead of us now. He's turn 1. Kubica on to third, week side by side now with our teammate going to turn 1. Bit of a lock up there from Robert Kubica. We've still got Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel going side by side now for the lead of the Grand Prix. It's like Alonso is just going to get in front there off Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari. Then we got our teammate Robbie Kubica despite third. We've actually dropped down to fifth now behind Pascal Wehrlein, so we've had a terrible start yet again. Another terrible start in the 2017 season. And we've got a close battle front there, top three already pulling away from Pascal Wehrlein. And we've got one of the Toyotas looking very racing right behind us as well, along with Daniel Kvyat in the Red Bull, and then Jean-Yves Vergne in the Ferrari as well. We see there. We've done now, we're in P5. It looks like Wehrlein is actually pulling away from us already, so possibly some issues with the car. The starter's not finding the pace I mean. I mean, we are running with over 3 laps extra fuel, so I imagine that's making some difference, but we're pretty much 3 laps extra fuel for the whole season, so I don't really see why that would be causing issues. But see, got the proximity arrow of Komario behind us. Kobayashi was an amazing top end speed, of course, with that low drag Toyota. I mean, the Toyota power unit is pretty decent anyway, and get that a low drag setup, that's going to be mighty in straight line, maybe even challenging the Hasses for outright top speed, maybe even us as well. But through the corners, of course, running a low drag means they've got less errors. So you see through Ascari, we pulled away a bit there from Komario Kobayashi, looking around Parabolika, we were getting a bit of time through here though, but because Monza is pretty much a straight line, ideally you want top end speed over aerodynamic performance, which why Red Bull is so far back, because they've got aerodynamic performance, they just haven't got the straight line speed to go with it. But now we've got Sebastian Vettel gaining in slowly on the back now. Off Fernando Alonso coming down to turn 1, is Vettel going to try and make a move up the inside of the 2-time world champion coming down to turn 1. No, just a bit too far back, that's a stick behind Fernando Alonso. A bit of a lockout there actually from Sebastian Vettel as well. But I don't think that's going to cost him any time, because with how durable the tyres are, flat spots aren't really much of a danger unless you completely turn them square with a huge lockup. But a lockup like that from Sebastian Vettel really isn't going to do his tyres any bad. Now we've got Robbie Kubica right up behind the back. Well, Sebastian Vettel coming down into second chicane, but Kubica just a bit too far behind there. That's to stick behind the 5-time world champion coming down through the Lesmos. And of course, through the Lesmos, there's pretty much no way you can make an overtake. And look, of course, unless you're going side by side into the Lesmos, then there's pretty much no way you have to make an overtake. You have to stick behind the car in front, unless you can't really make a. How the corners are, you can't really make a dive to the inside. We're now getting in the slipstream on the back once again off Pascal Wehrlein. You got Kobayashi still up behind us in straight on speed. See, we are gaining on the back now off Pascal Wehrlein. Actually, you go purple there through the second sector, pretty much just showing how good our straight line speed really is. We will get a bit squirrely there, get a bit dirty on the front of our car through Ascari, which really doesn't give us a poor run. I see the proximity are getting ever larger now, showing the presence of Komario Kobayashi in that Toyota right behind us, and then Daniel Kvyat in the Red Bull right up behind him as well. So once again, Kvyat having to really outperform what that Red Bull's capable of. Actually, there's quite a bit of a gap to Daniel Kvyat, much more than I thought it was. So Kvyat's slowly starting to fall away from the back of this group, which of course, with that Cosworth power unit really not up to scratch with any of the cars in front, it's going to be pretty much a struggle for Daniel Kvyat to try and keep him to the back of us. But now Kobayashi will have DRS now, because it is the start of lap 3. So Kobayashi now with DRS coming down into turn 1 is not gaining that much chance, because it's all pretty much line of stone. We're all getting DRS and slipstream off of the cars in front of us. Now got Jean-Yves Vergne actually managed to clear the Toyota of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton just going backwards at the start of this race. That's starting from 7th. It's pretty much down, I think, in 9th or 10th position now. So not the best start of the race for the 2008 world champion. Now we've got Kobayashi looking very racy behind us, looking very interested, trying to take a 5th place position away from us. He just hasn't going to straight speed coming into the chicane. He's going to try and make a dive up the inside. No, he's not quite close enough there to make the move up the inside, and just to stay behind us for a bit longer. Now going up through the last mode once again, just has to stay behind us. Everyone is going line of stone through. See, there's quite a few. The gas is slowly starting to emerge between all the cars in front now. See, Alonso is pulling the gas slightly now over Sebastian Vettel, but Vettel's still got Robbie Kubica right up behind him. And once again, Kobayashi with DRS. Once again, we're with DRS off back of Pascal Wehrlein in front again. Nice panning shot here for all the cars powering their way down to Ascari. I mean, we say how slow the Red Bulls are, but they're still going over 200 miles an hour or not far off it. Of course, despite the 2-litre V6 power units, despite having more power, just with the more aero, more weight on the cars, we were about 20-30 miles an hour slower than what we were last season. Remember back to Mexico 2016. I think us and the Williams were topping out around 230-ish miles an hour. We're only doing about 200 here at Monza, so the speeds are a lot slower, but still, we have got a definite power advantage over the rest of the cars on the grid. Now coming on now to start lap 3, Robbie Kubica once again getting in the slipstream on the back of Sebastian Vettel, but then we've got to move further back with Jean-Yves Vergne trying to get up the inside now of Daniel Kvyat. This is of course Ferrari power, v Ford Cosworth power, come down to turn 1, got Vergne going up the same, trying to dive up the inside there, Kvyat makes a move up the inside, just to dive on the underside there of Kobayashi. Well, good job Kobayashi saw Vergne coming, otherwise it could have been a nasty incident there between two of them. They could have took both of them out of the race. And of course Vergne, despite having a massive championship lead, is not going to want to throw away 20 points, especially at Ferrari's home race. Now coming a bit further on, got Jean-Yves Vergne right behind the back now of Kobayashi, because Kobayashi will still have DRS and slipstream off the back of us, and that's going to be pretty much a drag race once again down into turn 1. Imagine how fast is a low drag Toyota versus a Ferrari. Now Vergne's going to pull to the inside now. Kobayashi defends aggressively to the inside, forces Vergne, the championship leader, to try and go around the outside now. We have a lock up there from Kobayashi trying to keep it side by side, and Vergne there just gets forced out there. Like I think Kobayashi's lock up actually taken there. Kobayashi of course going a bit more with a straighter line into the chicane, pretty much forced Vern to back out of the move then, pretty much. So that lockup has pretty much saved Kobayashi's 6th place for the time being. You see, we're all over the back now of Pascal Wehrlein actually, so Wehrlein's starting to fall away from the back of Robbie Kubica, Vern, and then Van Dolen's in lead. And of course, the more Vern falls away, I think he's still within DRS range, but the more he falls away, the less slipstream he's going to get. Of course, because we're right up behind the back now of the young German, we're going to get a lot of slipstream, a lot of DRS. Of course, with our power advantage and our straight line speed advantage we have over that Mercedes AMG anyway. We're going to weapon here, see Wehrlein there, still has DRS, but now we're getting quite a bit in the DRS. Now we're going to pull to the inside now, use our overspeed to our advantage. We're going to be side by side now with Pascal Wehrlein and Mercedes. We're going to breeze right around the outside there of Pascal Wehrlein coming down into Ascari. And now, you see that Wehrlein has to take a pretty compromised line through Ascari there, which is going to give him a poor exit, and that's going to put Kamui Kobayashi in the Toyota right up behind him now. See Kobayashi gaining in the slipstream now on the back of Pascal Wehrlein, because Johnny Van right up behind as well, because all three of them pretty much through line of stand now. We could throw a blanket over all three of them. How close we see we're running a bit wide there. 3 parabolic is going to kill momentum. Thankfully, we're going to spin out there on the AstroTurf piece of track around the outside strap. Now Kobayashi pulls to the inside now of Pascal Wehrlein. So we go side by side now with the German. Now going to be 3 wide now with Johnny Van making 3 wide now, coming down now. It's telling me the last delay breaks between 3 of them. Who's going to get this move? Kobayashi has a sandwich between Pascal Wehrlein and Johnny Van there. Bit of a lockout there from Pascal Wehrlein. He's forcing himself out of the move now between Kobayashi now and Johnny Van. Here we go. Daniel Kvyat trying to make a move around the outside there of Pascal Wehrlein. He makes a mistake. Now it's just side by side now for P6 between Jean-Eric Verne and Kamui Kobayashi. Verne in front there, but Kobayashi with the inside line was getting squeezed off the track there by Jean-Eric Verne. Now coming down into the second chicane. He's going to get it ahead here. Jean-Eric Verne or Kamui Kobayashi. Kobayashi on the outside line there, just can't quite hold it around the outside. And now Jean-Eric Verne makes the move in front of Kamui Kobayashi to move up now into what's actually P5, of course, to go past Pascal Verne as well. So Verne now into the top 5 outside from P9, and now, despite all of this, you see Vettel's now in front of us. So throughout all of that, Robbie Kubica managed to get past managed to get past Sebastian Vettel. So we're getting quite a bit in the slipstream now on the back of the 5-time German, because Vettel will still have the slipstream and DRS off the back of our team at Robbie Kubica. You see how much that's on the mini app, how much Fernando Alonso is already pulling away out in front. Of course, the more we battle, the more time we're just going to lose to the double world champion out in front. Now coming up through Parabolica, so you've got yellow flags up in front. So I don't know if there's a bit of debris on the track, maybe some cleaning up a bit of debris in one of the marshals. I think we go a bit wide. There's actually a mini lap. There's actually a car going very slowly there. See the car going very slowly into the pit lane there. So there's a car that possibly with some major issues, and they're already a lap down. We're only on lap 7 of the race, and there's one car now already a lap down. So we've got DRS still on the back. Especially with Vettel, they're pulling away because with the extra straight line speed of our Williams, so that's really just allowing Sebastian Vettel to pull away from us with our teammate Robbie Kubica, because Kubica with the extra straight line speed in general over the Ferrari. The Ferrari's just getting even more overspeed in the slipstream off the back of our teammate. We've got Verne. Verne's actually fallen away quite a bit from the back of us now. Imagine Kobayashi still trying to fight back valiantly to try and retake what is now 5th position. Actually go purple there through the first sector. Bit surprising. I thought Vettel would have gone faster through us down the first sector, but of course with the extra slipstream, it's actually just getting dirty out in the cars right now, coming up now through the Lesmos. So it's getting a pretty even gap. They get a bit squirrely there on the exit. So once again, the balance of the car still isn't exactly where I want it to be. And that might be another reason why we're not finding the hour pace that we want. But somehow we're still just about within DRS range behind Sebastian Vettel. Vettel there looking very interested behind the back of our team at Robbie Kubica, green straight sector. So we're still finding some good pace on this lap. Still not finding the pace that we need. And pretty much we straight line the Ascari there as much as we can, using a lot of the curve in there, but still keeping 2 wheels just about on the track. So keeping it within the legal limits. And see there behind now, Fern has pulled quite a bit of a gap to Kobayashi and Daniel Kvyat behind. If you look there on the mini-map, looking around the final corner, you've got Sebastian Vettel now getting right up behind the back now, once again, of Robbie Kubica, our teammate. And surely Vettel will be willing to make a move coming down into turn 1 if he can get enough overspeed. But of course, if Williams have turned up Kubica's engine, it's going to be pretty difficult for Vettel to make a move. Kobayashi gets defended to the inside. Now Kubica defending to the inside. Vettel trying to go around the outside now of Robbie Kubica into turn 1. We'll be side by side between the 2 of them now. We'll be side by side. Vettel there on the inside line. We got Kubica on the racing line. There's going to be side by side still. Vettel trying to get it around the outside. Side by side now, coming around into Curva Grande. And Kobayashi there looking right up inside. I see a good view there from Robbie Kubica telling me just how close Sebastian Vettel and Robbie Kubica are getting there. Going to be fighting now on the inside. Kubica trying to hold it around the outside, which will then turn to the inside. He has made it stick, and Vettel there gets a compromised line out of the corner. Escape now. We're trying to go around the outside now. Of Sebastian Vettel coming in now into the Lesmos. Going to be side by side with the 5-time champion. He just dropped back even from me there to get forced off the track there by Sebastian Vettel. We've got Johnny Van catching right onto the back of us now. How much we're battling with Vettel there, keeping in front for the time being. But now we're going to have DRS now on the back of the German, going to pull to the outside once again. Off Sebastian Vettel, made the move ahead there. Vettel they're trying to keep it on the inside line, but it's no use. He made the move in front there. Off Sebastian Vettel there, very good defensive to the inside in case Vettel tries to make a dive back up or outside. Getting a pretty good line there through Ascari. But now Vettel's going to have DRS now on the back of us. Try and make a move, coming back down now into Parabolica, trying to keep with us now in our slipstream, because we will be getting a bit of slipstream off the back of Robbie Kubica in front, because Kubica's not that far in front of us. And now coming around Parabolica once again. And now we go right to behind once again. This Vettel going to try and make a move on us now, coming down now into turn 1. So you got DRS now, because and then Verne will have DRS on the back of Sebastian Vettel as well. Now Vettel there gaining on the slipstream, gaining in our DRS. Now he's going to try and make a move to our inside. He's going to think about it. It's still sticking right to behind us, using our overspeed to advantage. Vettel pull that inside. We just have enough overspeed, thinks about it, but then has to pull back in behind us. So once again with our overspeed, really it's just looking like we have the advantage in the straight line speed. Of course that's the advantage Williams would have coming into this race, is straight line speed. Goes through the corner, through Parabolica, around the Lesmos. Goes through the chicanes, really make much difference because the chicanes are low speed, so there really make much difference. So Vettel looking all over the back of us there, actually pulling away from Johnny Van, of course, with our straight line speed. And Vettel keeping us actually good purple there through the fast sector. We go purple through the fast sector without a slipstream or DRS off the car in front. So pretty much now that we've been unleashed from behind Sebastian Vettel, really are able to try to put our foot down and to pull away, trying to catch up to our teammate Robbie Kubica in P2 and try and get anywhere close to Fernando Alonso in the lead of the Grand Prix. We get a pretty poor run there through a second of the Lesmos, and that's going to give Sebastian Vettel run back. We'll see got the proximity area there for the 5-time world champion behind us. He's getting on a slipstream with our DRS, but he's just not quite close enough. And coming into Ascari, who is still able to keep it in front there of Sebastian Vettel. Of course, this is just holding up with Jean-Eric Vergne as well, really ruining the Ferraris. I don't think Ferrari have won their home race since 2010. I think when Alonso won it, so it's been a long time. And of course, they're still behind us now. They're just losing time to us, Robbie Kubica, and of course Fernando Alonso out in front, who took Ferrari's last win here in 2010 for the home crowd. And now coming around final corner, it's like it's possibly a few cars coming to the pit, so it's like Alonso staying out. But actually, Jean-Eric Vergne is coming into the pit, so Vergne going for an undercut on us now. Going for the undercut on himself and Sebastian Vettel. Of course, you know how the protocol usually is, the lead car gets priority pit stop. But Ferrari decided to bring Jean-Eric Vergne in early for a stop. He's going to a set of medium tyres, so I imagine that Vergne's looking to go to the end of the race on that set of medium tyres. Because it's pretty much with how low the tyre wear is around here. You actually get a nice view here from the pit lane camera at one of the Red Bulls, which is coming as well. I think that might be Daniel Kvyat. Can't really tell from the back of the Red Bull there which Red Bull it is. Now hopefully the camera switches here. Now it does switch because we've reached the end of the pit lane, so that pit lane camera isn't really going to show anything anymore. It's coming out now. It's going to stand alongside now both the McLarens who are doing the battle now. Come down to tail one, Kvyat hold up the inside. Carmen Jordan, actually no, Jordan's going to force out down to Kvyat there. So, I mean, fair play to Carmen Jordan. And they're both fighting for championship. I mean, Jordan pretty much just doing that for pride, honestly, between the McLaren Honda and the Red Bulls, pretty much a significant pace difference. And finally, we have something here that a Red Bull Cosworth can try and fight in a straight line. This is the McLaren Hondas. They're going to now interchange Jordan, defends to the inside. And it blocks off Daniel Kvyat, but now we've got Lars Stroll trying to go around the outside, which then tends to the inside of Daniel Kvyat, trying to make the move stick there on the Russian, and Lars Stroll there makes the move stick on Daniel Kvyat. A great move there from Lars Stroll, very opportunistic there from the young Canadian to find the gap around the outside, because Daniel Kvyat clearly too focused on trying to get past Carmen Jordan. You think about the throw behind from the Haas, and he made the move stick. Without looking back onto us, we still got Sebastian Vettel right up behind us. So surely Williams are going to pit either me or Robbie Kubica at the end of this lap. And honestly, I'd hope we get the first call, but Kubica is in front, so it's more likely that our teammate will get the first call on the pit stops. They'll come around parabolic, as you can't see, is Kubica coming to the pits. I think Kubica might be coming to the pits at the end of this lap. See their teammate in the pit, so Robbie Kubica has got the priority call on us. So we see we've got Sebastian Vettel coming in behind as well, so we're going to stay off for yet another lap. Try and do a hammer time, ideally. Try and use the power gun, use the clear track to our advantage, put the power down, run rich mix. Try and get an overcut on possibly Robbie Kubica. Try and get an overcut, crucially, on the two Ferraris, who now, and then we'll have a 2-lap undercut. That's in Vettel. We'll have this 1-lap undercut because we're gonna have to pit now at the end of the lap we're currently out. There's no way we'd lose too much time if we stay off the end of the lap. And now we've got Kubica coming down the pit straight now. So one of the Hassies there, Mick Schumacher coming out. It's only close, but of course Schumacher's not going to fight Robbie Kubica. Now back to us now. We're currently in the lead of the Grand Prix. We've got Max Verstappen in second. We've actually got Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault, currently in a P3 position there on a set of super soft tyres as well. So good pace there from Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, remember back to last season, that ultimate dive on me, running in a podium position for a lot of the race, ended up finishing in 4th or 5th place in the end. But still, something about this track, the Daniel Ricciardo really suits Daniel Ricciardo's driving style. If you don't count 2015 where he had the crash with Max Verstappen, but on outright pace, Ricciardo seems to be playing well in chases, so we don't get the better of the on the mini-map. Max Verstappen isn't that far behind us actually, and I thought we were way from there of the young Dutchman throughout the stint, so we're really not finding the best pace towards the end of the stint. Now coming around Parabolica now for the 11th time in this Grand Prix, running up here once again, just get a bit twitch on it, once again just getting it oversteer. The balance of the car just really isn't where we want it to be. Now we're coming in the pits now for our one only stop, and we'll also be going to a set of the medium tyres as well. So now coming into the pits for our one only pit stop, see if we're battling between the Red Bull and the Williams pit stop, because we are quite some way ahead of Max Verstappen, so I don't think Verstappen's going to be any threat, and Verstappen there comes out on a set of soft tyres actually, so Verstappen possibly going to look to go to the end on the set of soft tyres, or is Verstappen doing a two-stop? I mean, he stayed up this long, so it doesn't make any sense really why Verstappen will try to do two-stops. So he's trying to go to the end on the set of soft tyres, and we'll come out on the pits now. Got one of the Hasses in front of us. We've got both the Ferraris now doing a battle right behind us. I think we've got Johnny Van trying to go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel, coming down his tail, one Van trying to hold it right around the outside, but then turn to the inside with Vettel on the racing line. Can Van get some good traction off the line on the inside? Can be side by side between two of them. Vettel there on the inside line. I think Vettel's just going to get it on the momentum on the racing line. And Van trying to hold it around the outside. No, Van has to tuck back into the slipstream there behind Sebastian Vettel. Now he's going to get a face full of slipstream. Now can try and make a move, but coming back now into the second chicane. Van there thinks about making a move to the inside, but he's just a bit too far back. Now coming up now to the two Lesmos. But so he's going to have to stick behind Sebastian Vettel, coming nowhere through here for the championship leader try and get past his 5-time world champion teammate. But now Verne will have DRS now coming down the second straight, and you're saying Vettel will have DRS in 15 minutes. Unfortunately the camera cuts back to us, so we'll have to use the names on the top left if Verne actually manages to make the move on Sebastian Vettel. So looking behind us, so you've got about half a second gap to Sebastian Vettel there, about 4/10 gap to Vettel, and we've got Schumacher in the Haas in front of us on set medium tyres which he started the race on, so I don't think there's going to be any repeat of Schumi's win from the last race, but now we're gaining quite a bit in the slipstream on the back now of the Haas. So of course imagine maybe Haas have tied his engine down a bit to give us some good slipstream to try and help us pull away from the two Ferraris behind. I mean, he's done 12 laps on the medium tyre, so he's still got quite a few laps yet to go, Mick Schumacher has, before he makes his pit stop. But now we will have DRS now on the back of the young German. Now we're going to be coming up now in the slipstream on the back now. Schumacher there pulls to the inside, pulls off the racing line, much like Lance Stroll did to last race. And they're coming down now into tail one, struggling to brake. Give us a place back and do. Now you actually look now for one of the pit lane, for one of the side cameras once again. Actually a good view there, hops over the curb. Now the camera's gone into the wall. I mean, that cameraman clearly needs a bit of work on his camera skills. I mean, pretty much like Fernando Alonso in the real life Brazilian Grand Prix 2016. I think it was, or was it last season? Either way, they've still got Mick Schumacher ahead of the Ferraris now coming up into the end of the first sector. So Schumacher doing a brilliant job here of holding up both of the Ferraris for us. As now once again coming to the last place, imagine Vettel's face is probably about as red as his Ferrari car right now, being stuck behind Mick Schumacher. But now both Verne and Vettel will have DRS now on the back of Mick Schumacher. Schumacher there defending, doing all he can, and pulls to the middle of the track, but there's nothing you can do to try and defend now from Sebastian Vettel. You know, trying to make the move up the inside. Sebastian Vettel can be side by side now into Ascari. Schumacher they can try it on the inside, which then turns the inside line, but Vettel down the inside line and just forces out Mick Schumacher there. Gets a poor run that really compromises Jean-Eric Van's corner exit as well. And now you see got Mick Schumacher getting switched, but now we got Jean-Eric Van pointing to the inside now of Mick Schumacher, coming up now into Parabolica, going with the Rebels just right up behind the back of both of them as well. And there we got Verne makes the move up the inside there of Parabolica, and Schumacher gets a really poor run there. But now Schumacher will have DRS on the back of Johnny Van, but then the Red Bull behind also has DRS now. We've got Daniel Kvyat pulling to the inside now of Mick Schumacher. He has to tuck back into the slipstream there of Mick Schumacher. Pulls out the inside once again. That's to tuck back into the slipstream there. But there's just no straight line speed in that Red Bull whatsoever. A huge lock up there though from Mick Schumacher, feeling the pressure from Daniel Kvyat behind. It's just not enough. But thankfully the lockup actually keeps him ahead there. But I'm cutting a bit further on, I'm looking at one of the Toro Rossos, and the other Haas of Lance Stroll actually got one of the Mercedes right up behind him there. So man, that must be Pascal Wehrlein. I think Alonso's still leading the Grand Prix, so Pascal Wehrlein there was finding some really poor pace in this race. He's dropped loads back now. He goes down the straight. Actually all three of them are going to come into the pit lane now. There'll be a battle of the pit crews now between Toro Rosso, Haas and Mercedes as well. Now who's going to come out on top here? I don't quite see which Charles is. I think there might be Carlos Sainz in the Toro Rosso, because I'm going to stay on board here with Lance Stroll. See, because Stroll with the end pit box, what tyres is he going on to? He's going to a set of super soft tyres taking to the end of the race. He's been held in the pit box there though for Pascal Wehrlein to come out. So Wehrlein there coming to pits. I don't know why Wehrlein's coming to pits again, unless he had some kind of car issue, slow puncture. Imagine that Wehrlein would have been in the one stop as well. So I don't really know why Wehrlein's coming to the pits again. But I didn't seem to see what tyres come out to. He's going to come out there behind one of the Saubers. So all three of these guys got a lot of work to do. They're cutting a bit further on. They've all cut onto the back now of the Sauber of Adrian Sutter, because this is going to be Sutter's final ever Italian Grand Prix, and this is a race where he took his best ever finish in Formula 1 back in Season 2 2015. Got the 4th place finish. Now it's going to be He's quite a lot further down in 4th place in this race today. And coming around Parabolica now, you've got signs in the Toro Rosso right up behind the back of the Sauber. And there's going to be a Dragon down the tunnel, and because there's power now, if we run out power, then we've got a bit of AMG power right up behind the back of both of them now. And we've got Verlaine now pulls to the inside now of Carlos Sainz. Going to make it 3 right now, going to sandwich the Sauber in the middle, going to blast past the Sauber like he's not even there. And that's going to be late braking now between Sainz and between Pascal Verlaine. Sainz on the inside line, which will then tend to the outside there for Pascal Verlaine. The Sauber side now, Sainz just gets you there on corner exit, forces out Pascal Verlaine. Of course, this is a home race also for Toro Rosso, so a bit of home pride here for Toro Rosso, as well as beating currently a works Mercedes AMG. And now once again Verlaine getting insulation now on the back of Carlos Sainz, coming down the second chicane, and once again Verlaine's not close enough to the back of Carlos Sainz. Imagine the Toro Rosso running a low drag set as well to maximise the pace of that Renault power unit in the back of it. And now coming up now through the Lasmos, he's still got Adrian Sutter holding up Lance Stroll at this point. It really is not helping Lance Stroll, because Stroll on the super soft tyres, so he's using the pace to his advantage here, whilst Pascal Verlaine stuck here battling with Carlos Sainz. But now Verlaine, we're getting in the DRS now on the back of Carlos Sainz, and now Verlaine pulls to the inside now of Carlos Sainz, coming up into Ascari. He makes the move there just before the braking zone. Goes a bit wide though, because of any attack that Sainz tried to come back with, and now Stroll has managed to make the move ahead of Adrian Sutter. But now we've got Carlos Sainz getting in slipstream now on the back of Pascal Verlaine once again. He's getting quite a bit in the slipstream here. Now coming around Parabolic, this is going to be where Sainz falls away slightly, because he hasn't got the downforce in the chassis that the Mercedes has. But now Sainz also will have DRS once again off the back of Pascal Verlaine. We see Verlaine's already pulling away with that superior power of the AMG power unit. See that Sainz is gaining in the slipstream, coming down into turn 1, but he's good unless he goes for an almighty dive bomb, which thankfully he doesn't. I think Sainz pretty much there is going to have to admit defeat and try and defend from Lance Stroll. But now moving all the way now onto lap 26 to 27, we go purple there through the second sector. See how much we're pushing, trying to catch up to Lance Stroll, but I don't think there's anything we can do to try and catch up to our teammate Robert Kubica in front of us, because we're not going to catch over a second's gap in one lap unless something goes drastically wrong. We have managed to pull a decent gap over Sebastian Vettel, who's still kept in front at this point, ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne. Now looking up front now at Fernando Alonso, still leading the Grand Prix. Pretty much is led this race from start to currently now coming on to the final lap now of the Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso starts final lap of the Grand Prix. Unless anything drama's happened, I don't see any way that our teammate Robert Kubica can try and catch up to Fernando Alonso. Alonso there got one of the back marking in front. He looks like one of the McLaren. I think it's all flashes of orange in front of him there. So Alonso, unless any dramas happen with trying to lap the McLaren, I don't see any way that Alonso can lose this race with only 2.5 sets left to go. Now looking a bit further back now, second in the battle, we've got one of the Toyotas here. I think that's Lewis Hamilton now coming up to try and overtake one of the Renaults. Coming now into Parabolic, trying to come up on the inside, coming to Parabolic. No, he's not quite close enough there. Trying to catch onto the back of the Renault of Daniel Ricciardo, I think that is actually. So Ricciardo then, once again, like I said, was in good pace, beating Nico Hülkenberg. Both of these on a set of soft tyres, and that's going to be Renault power v Toyota power, because Hamilton with DRS now pulls to the inside now of Daniel Ricciardo coming down the straight. He breezes past the Renault, pretty much like he's standing still. There's so much more speed in that Toyota power unit. And their defence to the inside coming now into tower, and Hamilton makes the move stick there on Daniel Ricciardo. Looking up front, back at Fernando Alonso. Alonso has kept it clean there. It looks like lapping the McLaren there. We've got another car up in front of him, but I don't think Alonso's going to try. I don't think Alonso's going to catch what's the other car in time. So Alonso's only got to go around Parabolica now for the final time, so hopefully there's no dramas here for Fernando Alonso. Could now come around Parabolica for the final time. He's not going to run wide spin off. I've seen races that have been thrown away in the last lap before. Now Fernando Alonso is coming up to the finish line, and Fernando Alonso is going to win the Italian Grand Prix in dominant fashion, leading the race from start to finish. Going to be second place for our teammate Robbie Kubica. So they're just not quite close enough. He was catching, but wasn't catching enough. And we're going to take home third place to round off a 2-3 there for Williams, and what could have been and possibly even a race victory for us. But there you can see Toto Wolff looking very happy with Fernando Alonso driving wide one team. I mean, once again, if Alonso can get up front, which he has, he can just prove his pace. But if that Mercedes is stuck in traffic, then it's a whole different story. But Alonso there taking yet another victory to add to his already impressive tally. But I think that's only his second or third victory of 2017. Taking a look at the race results. Fernando Alonso a T victory, just over 2 seconds clear of our teammate Robbie Kubica, and we finish in third to round off a Williams 2-3. Sebastian Vettel finishes in fourth, 2 seconds behind us, but 4 seconds clear of his teammate Jean-Eric Vergne. Max Verstappen comes home in sixth as the leader of the Red Bulls, getting the better of teammate Daniel Kvyat by quite some way actually. 17 seconds ahead of Daniel Kvyat. Kvyat must have had some kind of problem in this race, because he already had 1 stops in the top 10, so Kvyat must have had some kind of car issue or just maybe some sort of drama, just a lack of pace, probably. Nico Hülkenberg comes home in 8th. As the leader of the Renaults was teammate Daniel Ricciardo in 9th. Mick Schumacher running off the top 10 for Haas, with Pascal Wehrlein in 11th after doing a 2-stop, and Carlos Sainz running off the top 12 in point scorers for Toro Rosso. Lance Stroll comes home in 13th, just couldn't quite catch up to Carlos Sainz in the end, with Pierre Gasly finishing where he started in 14th. Giovinazzi with a good result coming home in 15th, beating out teammate Adrian Sutil, who finishes in 16th. Carmen Jordan gets the better of Rio Haryanto for only the second time this season, coming in 17th with Haryanto in 18th. And then we have the two McLarens of Hamilton and Kobayashi in 19th and 20th, so that must have been Hamilton unlapping himself from Daniel Ricciardo instead of overtaking for position, so a nightmare race there for both of the Toyotas, especially even more with Kobayashi DNFing from the race after putting up a great fight with us at the start of the race. Despite not being in the best race for Ferrari at their home track, Jean-Luc Van still has a 43-point lead over his teammate Sebastian Vettel, and Fernando Alonso in 3rd is now only 3 points behind the 5-time world champion. We remain in 4th, 6 points behind Fernando Alonso, but we jump Pascal Wehrlein, with Wehrlein only coming home in 11th. Daniel Kvyat remains in 6th, only 13 points behind Pascal Wehrlein, so despite the poor pace of the Red Bull, Kvyat is just about holding on, I say, to the top flight of cars, with Max Verstappen in pretty much a world of his own now in 7th, 21 points behind Daniel Kvyat and 15 points clear of Robert Kubica, is in 8th. Lance Stroll's in 9th on 62 points, 3 points clear of Lewis Hamilton, is in 10th on 59. Sebastian Buemi is in 11th on 33, with Mick Schumacher running off the top 12 on 31 points. Nico Hülkenberg now moves up into 13th on 26, cutting ahead of Kobayashi, who's on 22, and then Daniel Ricciardo 1 point further behind on 21. Esteban Ocon's in 16th on 18 points, joint with Carlos Sainz, but on better results. Esteban Ocon's ahead, and Sainz is now 1 point clear of his teammate Pierre Gasly, who's on 17 points. Carmen Jordan remains in 19th with 1 point, then Haryanto rounds off the point scorers in 20th with the last point. We've still got Giovinazzi, Sutil, Thomas Laurent, and Nico Carey all yet to score. Moving on now to the constructor standings, and Ferrari now have a 62-point lead over Mercedes, who are in 2nd, and Williams now move back ahead of Red Bull for 3rd on 190 points to Red Bull's 181. Haas are now 23 points clear of Toyota in the battle for 5th on 122 points to Toyota's 99. And then we've got quite a gap down back to Renault, who are in 7th on 47 points, 12 points clear of Toro Rosso, who are in 8th, McLaren in 9th on 2, and Sauber, the only team yet to score. So that's been the Italian Grand Prix. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, vote for your driver of the day with the poll link. That'll be in the video description or the one in the comment section, the same one either way, so just click either one of them, and check out the wiki, which will be the link below, to check out obviously all the news on this season, previous seasons, and a sneak peek of what's coming up in the future. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.